Imagine getting caught in a massive downpour. You really only have two choices: sweating inside a tight raincoat or standing comfortably under an umbrella. That rubber raincoat definitely stops the rain from getting in, but because there is absolutely zero airflow, your own body heat and sweat get trapped inside. Very quickly, you end up soaking wet anyway, just from the inside out. This is exactly how most modern homes are built. We wrap them in layers of expensive insulation and weather barriers, like a tight raincoat, then staple exterior siding directly on top. When a storm hits, the wind pushes rain hard against the side of the house. No matter how perfectly that siding is installed, water eventually forces its way into the tiny cracks and joints of the material. Because the siding is pressed flat against the insulation, that trapped moisture has nowhere to go. It just sits there against your house with no air to help it dry, slowly eating away at the wood and causing hidden rot. To keep a house healthy, we have to move away from the raincoat approach. We need to build an umbrella, a dedicated physical breathing space right behind the siding. In the building industry, this is called a rainscreen. Looking at this cross-section, you can see exactly where the rainscreen lives. It is a continuous 10mm air gap held right between the inner weather barrier and the outer siding. That gap has two essential jobs. The first is drainage. Any water that gets pushed in through the exterior siding hits that empty space, and gravity pulls it straight down and out the bottom of the wall. The second job is drying. Even after the liquid water falls away, the back of the siding stays damp. That empty column of air gives the remaining moisture a place to evaporate. To dry that moisture out efficiently, the wall relies on the chimney effect. As the sun heats the exterior siding, it warms the air trapped inside the hidden gap. Because warm air naturally rises, it begins flowing right up the wall. That rising warm air acts like a vacuum. It pulls fresh, dry air up from the very bottom, creating a constant, natural breeze behind your wall. Preventing rot isn't about creating a perfectly waterproof seal. It's about making sure any water that does get in has a clear path to fall down and enough air to dry out. For this chimney effect to work, the air needs a clear entry and a clear exit. That means the absolute top and the absolute bottom of your wall gap must remain completely open to the outside. Builders construct this space using long vertical pieces of wood called furring strips. These strips are fastened over the insulation to hold the siding 10mm away, creating physical channels for the air. If a builder installs these wood strips horizontally, the entire system breaks. Those horizontal pieces act like miniature dams, trapping water and cutting off the airflow your home needs to stay dry. Leaving the top and bottom of your wall open does create an unintended problem. You have effectively built a warm, dry, sheltered luxury resort for wasps, bees, and mice. To keep them out without blocking the breeze, those entry and exit points must be capped with heavy-duty insect screens. You need thick stainless steel or high-grade aluminum that won't degrade over time or rust in the elements. A functional rain screen demands a careful balance. You need continuous vertical airflow to keep the wood dry, paired with rigid metal screens to keep the wildlife outside. In almost 90% of Canadian homes, this vital system is either missing entirely or built poorly. Often, that happens because siding is treated purely as a decoration rather than an active part of water management. To find out if a builder understands the system, you can ask them one specific question. How are you maintaining the 10mm continuous air gap at the top and bottom of the wall? Make sure to follow up by asking exactly what type of metal insect screens they plan to install at those points. If they tell you the siding breathes well enough on its own without dedicated vents, the air won't circulate and the moisture won't dry. You can verify the health of any newly built house yourself using a quick trick called the pencil test. Take a standard yellow pencil and see if you can slide it straight up underneath the bottom edge of the exterior siding. A standard pencil is about 7 or 8mm thick. If you cannot easily slip it up into that gap, the space is too tight. The house is effectively suffocating. If you found this helpful and want to continue learning how to build better, healthier homes, please subscribe and like the video. Understanding the simple science behind this 10mm gap transforms you from a passive viewer into an empowered insider who knows exactly how to stop hidden rot before it starts.